Garmlingtons! The goal of today's video is extremely simple. You could probably see it in the title. I wanted to find the best and worst player from every single country. But the only problem with this is not every single country in the world has top tier Counter-Strike players. And so for today, I lowered the threshold to what I thought was fair. For a country to qualify for this video, you need at least one player who has 20 maps against top 20 teams. I think that's pretty fair. And if you did qualify to be the best player from a country, we took multiple things into account. We as in me. Your personal best placement on the HLTV top 20, your total rating, your tournaments won, your majors won, your total MVPs, your total amount of times you made the HLTV top 20, and if you were an IGL, you get bonus points for your team's peak placement on the rankings. So for example, if you're an IGL and your team was ranked number 1 in the world at some point, you get a pretty big buff to try and kind of even it out, because I feel like IGLs don't get enough respect in these. And for the worst player, well, it was a little more simple. We just went by rating. Anyways, there is a lot of players and a lot of countries in this video today, so without wasting any time, let's get into it. Before we fully get into this video, a couple things that I need to say. Originally, this video was going to be like an hour, maybe over an hour long, and we decided for the greater good of the universe, we were going to split it into 2 parts. The first part, the part that you're watching right now, is going to be every single part of the world besides Europe, and then the European one will be released in, I don't know, like 2 weeks. I guess that's it, actually. I don't know why I said a few things. Okay, back to the video. Sweet country, Canada. Starting us off on this list is Canada, and without a doubt, the best player in Canadian history is Twist. After starting his Tier 1 career on Team Liquid in April of 2017, Twist has really not slowed down for a single second. He won 10 tournaments on Liquid and Intel Grand Slam, and Liquid had one of the greatest years in North American Counter-Strike history. He then went on to win 8 tournaments when he joined FaZe in 2021, including 1 major and another Intel Grand Slam. He's been in the HLTV top 26 times, peaking at number 9 in 2019, and even though currently FaZe is kind of a mess, he still placed number 11 this past year, showing that he's still got a lot of juice left in the tank. He's already the best player in Canadian Counter-Strike history, and he can add even more to his resume in the next few years. Now, the worst player in Canadian history is a legend, an absolute GOAT from back in the day, and that is Ocean. Ocean has played 78 maps against top 50 teams in his career and has posted a 0.68 rating. If we move that to top 20, it goes down to a 0.61. He's played for multiple teams throughout his career. In August of 2014, he joined his first team in SKDC, at least his first team that's listed on HLTV. He then went on to join Splice, go back to SKDC, play for AGG, play for K-Kona, play for Caliber, play for Subtle, play for Absolute Mad Lads, and go back to SKDC in November of 2020 before retiring in March of 2021. Ocean is an NA GOAT, and I am proud that he can take the spot as the worst Canadian player of all time. Barmlings, the sponsor of today's video, is SkinPlace, a site where you can quickly and safely sell your skins. Then you can choose one of their many withdrawal methods such as PayPal, crypto, or card, and if you use my promo code Garmour, you will get a 2% bonus to the first sale you make. You'll then get your money as soon as the trade protection for the skin is over. Or if you're looking for something new, they also have a huge market of skins that you can buy from. Along with this, SkinPlace has a new event called the Egg Hunt, or rather, the hunt for the Butterfly Knife Gamma Doppler Phase 3 minimum wear. Or you can get Driver Gloves King Snake Factory New. You have a chance to take part in this giveaway until April 28th, and the way you participate is just by visiting the site daily, collecting coins, completing tasks, and joining the draw. Coins can also be exchanged for skins in the bonus store. Thank you to SkinPlace for sponsoring, and back to the video. For the United States, there was really only 2 players in contention for this, and that's Elige and Stewie2K. Elige was on Team Liquid at the same time as Twist and Stewie when they won a bunch of tournaments, won an Intel Grand Slam, and were of course one of the best North American teams in Counter-Strike history. But on the other hand, Stewie, well, I mean, he's a winner. He was on Cloud9 when they won a major. He was on Liquid when they were GOATed. Stewie is the only player from the US who has won a major and an Intel Grand Slam, so it's kind of like, I mean, it's really a horse apiece, but individually wise, throughout his career, Alish has just been better, so it's kind of hard to not give this to him. The problem with Stewie is while he is a goated winner, he has never placed in the HLTV top 20 once, and Alish has peaked at number 4 in the world. So for the US, it's just gotta be Alish. We've already talked about his success on Team Liquid, and while he has never won a major, he has placed in the HLTV top 26 times, won an Intel Grand Slam, been an MVP 4 times, and his all-time rating against top 50 teams is a 1.14. The worst player from the United States is actually the coach of Cloud9 when they won that major, and that's Valens, who played for a few teams in 2015, before eventually transitioning into a coach for TSM in 2016. But when he was a player, he posted a .74 against top 50 teams, and then, well, it makes sense why he became a coach. The best Mexican player in Counter-Strike history is Marky. Marky is kind of a goat. I'm gonna be real here. This dude has been floating around tier 2 NA for like a decade at this point. He's played for NRG, Swole Patrol, E United, Chaos, Extra Salt, Nouns, Fluffy Aimers, Getting Info, and most recently Rave. This dude has just been absolutely everywhere, and it's kind of sad because he has never really found one home that he has stayed in, but he's always been a pretty decent player. He has a 104 against top 50 teams in his career, and he has the most maps out of any Mexican player by like a country fucking mile. For the worst player in Mexican Counter-Strike history, I had to do something that I do quite often. I said the rules about 2 minutes ago. I'm gonna break them. Here's the deal, right? I feel like for Mexico, it would be boring because the only player that truly qualifies is Marky. Nobody else has 20 maps against top 50 teams. But in order to make this a little bit more interesting, I'm gonna include someone who has 11 maps against top 50 teams because I want to. A lot of times, there was literally one player I could choose for both, but this time I am gonna split it up just because I feel like it. The worst player out of Mexico is a man named Secret Agent Jose Fernandez, currently 37 years old. Against top 50 teams, he had a .69 rating. Good work.
Oh, tú vives en Guatemala, ¿no?
The only country from Central America that qualified for this was Guatemala, and realistically, it's because of one man, and that is Malbs MD, the fucking GOAT. I know he hasn't been great on G2 recently. He has his ups, he has his downs. When Malbs is on, he's one of the most exciting players to watch. He's just very inconsistent. You know, he's been playing Counter-Strike for quite a while at this point. He joined his first team in February of 2019, eventually made his way to M80 in July of 2023, and that's where he really broke out. With them, he posted a 1.18 rating against top 50 teams, and then he went to G2 to kind of be the Nico replacement. So far, he's posted a 1.07 against top 50 teams, has won 3 tournaments, and also placed number 12 in the 2024 HLTV top 20. Unfortunately for Guatemala, and I guess for Malbs, he is the best and the worst player in the country's history. No one else has ever been in a top 50 team, and you might be asking yourself, why are you doing this for Malbs and not for Marky? Okay, let me show you something. When you put the Mexico country filter in and you do the top 50, Secret Agent does pop up at the bottom. When you do top 50 filter for Guatemala, it's only Malbs. So I'm only including Malbs. Secret Agent barely slid in because I felt like it. But yeah, Malbs, you are the best and worst player out of Guatemala. You are the pride and joy of your country. Good fucking work, fella.
This is Brazil.
Moving on to South America, the best player in Brazilian Counter-Strike history was very close. And if we were including 1.6, it would be even harder, but we're not for this video. So the only 2 real answers was either Coldzera or Fallen. And it was incredibly close, but back-to-back number 1s in the world, back-to-back major MVPs. One of the greatest clips in Counter-Strike history. It kind of had to be Coldzera. If you argued Fallen, I guess I wouldn't really necessarily disagree, but for this video, it's going to be Coldzera. He didn't have a super long prime. He placed in the top 23 years in a row and then never made it again. You know, his legacy has been slightly tainted in CS2 because he kind of just joins teams and then the teams just die. But throughout his time on Prime SK/Luminosity, he won a shit ton of tournaments, won 2 majors. Like, Coldzera's a fucking goat. And for the worst player in Brazilian Counter-Strike history, I hate to do this because he's the same age as me. He's only 22. He still might have potential, but at this moment, he just has to be the worst player in Brazilian Counter-Strike history, and that is Leonardo Santos. I'm using your full government name because your name tag is N9XTZ. And Leonardo. I hate to do this to you. With the top 50 ranking filter on, against top 50 teams, you have posted a .84 rating throughout your career, which, when you consider how bad the United States and Canada was, really isn't that bad. But along with this, he also had a .81 impact rating, a 6 firepower rating. His last team was AJF, and as of today, he currently has no team. The best player in Colombian Counter-Strike history is a man named Sam A. He joined his first team in January of 2017 on Vault, and eventually made his way to 9Z in June of 2019. Throughout his career, he's played a total of 23 maps versus top 50 opponents, and in these games, he has posted a .81 rating. There was pretty slim pickings for Colombia. They need a Malbs to break out for them or something. His main time in the limelight, why he's even on here at all, is he got all of his top 50 matches at the WESG 2016 World Finals on Team Colombia. And well, the worst player from Colombia is his teammate from this team, and that is Spamzy, who against top 50 teams, he has 38 maps and has posted a .71 rating. Honestly, God bless Team Colombia at this event. Otherwise, there would have been no one to pick from here.
Why are you gay?
The best player from Uruguay, it should be pronounced, gay. The best player is DGT, recent rifler for Pain. He broke out with 9Z in 2019, where he posted a 1.10 against top 50 teams. Didn't have as great of a time on Pain, only posting a 1.01 against top 50 teams. And now he is back to 9Z, where he is once again frying with a 1.19 rating. But against top 50 teams, it is down to a 103, but he might be back. His total all-time rating against top 50 teams is a 108. And honestly, I feel like DGT is still a great talent. It just didn't really work out on Pain. The worst player is current rifler for Bounty Hunter Zoc. Throughout his time playing, he has posted a .95 against top 50 teams, which really isn't even that bad. As we've seen from North America, it could be a lot worse. The best Argentinian player in Counter-Strike history is current AWPer for Passion UA Try. Throughout his time playing, he has posted a 1.11 against top 50 teams and has been the lone bright spot for Imperial over the past however long he's been on the team. And well, I'm hoping his stint on Passion UA is goated. I really want him to break out with this team. And well, the worst Argentinian player in history is someone named Rox. Rox played for 9Z from November of 2020 to September 2022 when he was benched, and during his time playing has posted a .84 against top 50 teams.
Ciao, concha tu madre!
When doing a minimum of 20 maps and using the top 50 filter, there are only 2 Chilean players that show up. So by default, both of these fellas are going to show up. Another recent player from Pain is David Duaz. Is it David Duaz? Davideus. Sweet. Whatever, bro. David pretty much did the same exact thing that DGT did. He played pretty well in Red Cannons, posting a 105 with the team against top 50 opponents. Joined Pain and it went down to a 1.0. And then he rejoined his old team where he has been posting a 1.22 rating. The only other player that showed up for this country was Huaso Peak, who is currently playing for 9Z and has played for 9Z since 2023. He's honestly also been a very solid player, posting a 1.04 rating against top 50 teams. Forgive me if I am wrong, but I believe the only country in all of Africa that has boasted Counter-Strike pros within top 50 teams is South Africa. And well, the main argument for South Africa is between Sonic and JT, but it is kind of hard to argue for JT when he is in IGL and hasn't won any tournaments, at least big tournaments. I get he hasn't always had the best pieces, but we're gonna have to give South Africa to Sonic. He's been on quite a few NA teams: ATK, Envy, Cloud9, Extra Salt, Bad New Bears, Wildcard, and at this point NRG. And against top 50 teams, he has 640 maps with a 1.04 rating. The worst player in South African history is someone by the name of Elusive. He played for Bravado from 2015 to 2019 and then Denial for a little bit. And during his time in the game, he has 98 maps against top 50 teams and has posted a 0.88 rating.
I'm not sure if you are aware, but I'm in Australia.
Jumping over to the other side of the world, the best player in Australian Counter-Strike history is without a doubt JKS. He was the first Australian player to ever be on the HLTV top 20, as he got number 15 in 2019. He then followed that up by getting number 19 in 2020, and to this day, he is still the only Australian to ever make the list. Unfortunately for JKS, he is 30 now at this point, so his prime is behind him, but my God, was prime JKS something to behold. Throughout his career, he has posted a 1.07 against top 50 teams, and let's pray that FlyQuest gets their shit together at some point. The worst player in Australian Counter-Strike history is currently a 26-year-old with no team. and that is Brace. Brace throughout his career has a .74 rating against top 50 teams, and that is mostly from his time on teams like Vertex and Bad News Kangaroos.
Send the boys down, give them a fucking good hide.
The best player in New Zealand's history, someone that I almost forgot about, is in my opinion, Gratisfaction. I fucking love Gratisfaction. Oh my god. He was never like anything crazy good, but for some reason, he was one of my favorite players to watch when he was playing on Renegades in 100 Thieves. I think just because he had a fire mustache and I like the name Gratisfaction. Technically, he doesn't have the highest rating against top 50 teams. That is actually from Netic, who has a 1.05, but you know, Gratisfaction was on like a top 5 team, and well, Netic on FlyQuest, you know, they're hovering around like top 50, so I'm gonna give it to my boy. And the worst player in New Zealand's history is a man named Zeusy. He most recently played for Chiefs in March of 2019 to February of 2020, and during his time playing, he posted a .9 against top 50 teams, which for the worst player from a country, once again, is not that bad. The best player in China's history is without a doubt Jam Young. Teach this boy English and get him on phase, you know what I'm saying? He basically single-handedly carried Tai Lu to a Fissure Playground 1 tournament win, which is technically the organization's first ever international LAN win. It wasn't an S-tier tournament, but it was still a very good win nonetheless. And that's also with the team's coach standing in for most of it. Jam Young was unbelievable during this event. And throughout his career against top 50 teams, he has a 1.11 rating. The worst player in China's history is 39-year-old RYK, who just barely beat Advent out. It was so fucking close. And RYK's last team was Aster, where he left in July of 2019.
He did also play for Tai Lu from November 2013 to October 2014.
Hello, welcome to Indonesia. I'll be your guy.
The best player from Indonesia is the GOAT, Bentet. Bentet was the main demon on Tai Lu for quite a few years. As with the team, he posted a 1.13 against top 50 teams, and then he eventually went over to Gen G. Gen G was a wild mix of players, where he posted a 1.07 against top 50 teams, and actually won ESL 1 Road to Rio North America. The worst player in Indonesian history is a man named Roseu. He is currently 32 and last played for Aster in July of 2020, and during his time playing against top 50 teams, posted a .91 rating.
I blew up Malaysia.
The best Counter-Strike player in Malaysian history is Kaze. Kaze has been around the block, but I feel like he's most known for his 4-year stretch in Vici Gaming. During his time on that team, he posted a 1.13 against top 50 teams. He also recently fucking fried with Rare Adam at the Perfect World Shanghai Major RMRs. But yeah, Kaze has been a GOAT for a while. Currently, he is 31 without a team, and his all-time rating against top 50 teams is a 105. The worst player in Malaysian history is a man named Zever. He most recently played for Cove in 2018. And throughout his time playing, posted a .87 against top 50 teams.
Hello, Thailand!
The best and worst players from Thailand are two people who are currently retired. The best is QQ God, who posted a 102 against top 50 teams. I'm gonna stop saying top 50 every time as well. I'm sure you get the point by now. And the worst is STK, who posted a .89. Fun fact about these guys, they played on the same team, Signature, in 2016 and 2017, both of their first ever teams.
Kazakhstan угрожает нам бомбардировкой.
Guys, this is gonna be a little embarrassing to admit. For Kazakhstan, I immediately thought, oh, it's of course gonna be Molodoy. Then I remember the two GOATs in Hobbit and Adren, and I mean, how can it not be Hobbit? It has to be Hobbit. He won a major with Gambit, has been in the HLTV top 20 twice, peaking at number 6, which is the same as Molodoy, and has won significantly more tournaments. Hobbit is such an incredibly interesting player because he basically had two primes. He was insane with Gambit from 2016 to 2018 when they won that major with Zeus. It then looks like maybe he's gonna fall off as he jumps from team to team, and then he pops the fuck off with Gambit youngsters, who eventually become Gambit. They win a bunch of tournaments during the online era. He eventually gets bought out by Cloud9. Well, the whole team got bought out by Cloud9, but you know, Hobbit is a fucking GOAT. And the worst player is Sonic, not the South African one, but the 34-year-old who throughout his career posted a .84. The best player from Turkey is, of course, Zantares. This dude has just been a mechanical freak for a decade at this point, finally getting his first HLTV top 20 placement at 29, and he's gone back-to-back, being number 15 in 2024 and number 14 in 2025. He won a bunch of tournaments with Big. He finally won a tournament with Aurora. They've consistently been a top, 6 to 8 team in the world, and throughout his career against top 50 teams, he has posted a 1.2 rating. The worst player in Turkish Counter-Strike history is a man named Maiko. He is currently the coach of Bushido Wildcats, and during his total time as a player, he posted a .86. The best player in Mongolian Counter-Strike history is without a doubt Senzu. He just made his first HLTV top 20 last year, placing number 13th, and as of today is now playing on Passion UA, and we'll see how that goes. With Mongols, he won 2 tournaments, made the finals of a major, and throughout his career has posted a 1.15 against top 50 teams. The worst player in Mongolian history is someone you might know from who is the worst player from every Counter-Strike team video. It is Azteca. He's currently 27 without a team, and he actually played in the Mongols twice, once in 2018 and again in 2023. Both times with them did not last very long, and against top 50 teams, he has posted a .83. The best player in Israeli and CS history was really between Flames and Spinks, and I mean, at this point, I feel like I just gotta give it to Flames. Flames is a 2-time major winner. He's been going on these insane streaks of vitality. He has an Intel Grand Slam. He placed number 7 in the world 2 years back to back. And while yes, Spinks does have more top 20 finishes, you know, vitality really hit their stride after he was replaced, so we're gonna give it to Flames. The worst player from Israel is actually Blue Phoenix. I think he really started getting noticed when he played on Young Ninjas. He had to go play on the NIP main team due to dysfunction. When have you heard this before? Pretty much with everyone in history who's ever played for their academy team has gone through this. And so while not getting a great shot, he didn't even play that bad. He's posted a .98 against top 50 teams. So, you know, for being the worst from a country, that's pretty impressive.
Cause Jordan never did that move.
There are only really 2 players from Jordan that qualified for this, and that is Boros and Issa, and I can't believe I'm saying this. The Boros video may have been nuked, but he will live on through here, except this time we're glazing him. You know, Boros and Issa were both pretty good riflers, but without a ton of achievements, it's kind of hard to say. Boros has a higher rating against top 50 teams. He has a 109 and Issa has a 106, but Issa did also get an MVP at a A-tier tournament, a tier 2 tournament, so like it's kind of up to you. I'm not really gonna argue either way. I just personally put Boros above him due to rating, but then also by default that means Issa is the worst player to come out of Jordan. But you know, he's not bad at all. It's just kind of by default. If you flip-flop him, then Boros is the worst player, Issa is the best. For me, it actually kind of makes more sense to have Issa be the best player because I have like more fonder memories of him and when he was playing on Hellraisers. But I mean, like, I don't know, man. Boros was pretty fucking cracked on Monty, so who's to say? The best player in Korean history is Zine, I think is how you say his name. He most recently played for Alter Ego when they tried to qualify for the Perfect World Shanghai Major, and after they failed to make the tournament, he has not played for a team since. He's been around for quite a while. He joined his first team in 2015, and against top 50 teams, he has a 1.06 rating. The worst Korean player is someone who is 37 and named Glow. Glow played for MVP PK from June of 2016 to April of 2020. That is the only team he has ever played for, apparently. So these fellows were teammates for a while. I guess it does make sense. There's not really that many Korean players that play Counter-Strike. You know, they all got sucked up by League of Legends and Valorant. But throughout his career, he has posted a .88 against top 50 teams. For Uzbekistan, I am breaking the rules and doing this by my own judgment without anything else. I'm not taking into account rating. For this, I am taking into account purely who is higher on the Chad ranking list. The highest rated player from Uzbekistan is DSSJ, who has a 1.04 against top 50 teams. But I'm going to make the best and worst player the same man. And you can probably assume who I'm talking about. That is Sanji. Sanji is a fucking goat. He was on the Vanguard team that broke out and made a major final, and then played on VP with Jame for quite a few years after they got signed. And this dude is the most selfless Counter-Strike player I have ever seen. Because Jame was an op IGL, Sanji kind of was given like IGL responsibilities in a way. Well, IGL responsibilities is in he always got the bullshit weapon and everyone else got guns. Normally, like, Kerrigan will take a pistol and he'll give his better players a rifle or something, but for this team, that was Sanji. But he constantly had a MAC-10 and MP9. He just barely ever had a rifle, I feel like. He would sit and hold flanks for 3 fucking hours, not moving a muscle, and he was just such an animal, man. Now, because he was put in these positions, his rating against top 50 teams is only a .94, which isn't even that bad, man. Considering the spots he was put in, it isn't even that bad. But yeah, Sanji's a goat. He is the best and worst. The best player in Counter-Strike history from Kyrgyzstan is a man named SNK, who is currently 30 and still playing for a team, and throughout his career has posted a 1.05 rating against top 50 teams. The worst player is currently 26-year-old N0, who has no team, and throughout his time playing the game has posted a 0.94 against top 50 teams. He actually played with Icy on a Vanguard post-Jane in 2022, if you didn't know, and also played on Russian Team Space in 2023 and 2024. The best player from Azerbaijan is someone named Sugar, who has kind of been around the block in Tier 2 EU. He's played for Aurora, he's played for Incilio, and as of right now, he plays for TDK, and his all-time rating is a 1.00 against top 50 teams. The worst player is 31-year-old Torik, who has played on teams like Gambit Academy. That's pretty much the only relevant one, to be honest. The last team he played for was Maybe in 2021, and his all-time rating against top 50 teams is a 0.91. There is only one player from Palestine who shows up on this entire list, and that is Osamas. He is currently playing for GG How and has posted a 0.95 rating against top 50 teams. Good work, buddy. You're your country's pride and joy. You are the best and worst player. And the final country we will be talking about before we get into Europe is Taiwan. And very similar to Palestine, they only have one player who even qualifies, so he is the best and worst. And that is currently 32-year-old coach of Feng Da. He recently played for Rare Atom at the Budapest Major, and his all-time rating against top 50 teams is a 0.85. Good work, Marek. Squadron, that is it for me today. If you guys would like to see the European version of this, you know the drill. Liking the video, subscribing if you enjoyed the videos, hit the bell if you would like to be notified. Yeah, that's it for me, fellas. I will see you guys next time.